Could be a lot of minutes, depending on where you are, but technically minutes. Well, good Friday morning. I'm Bob Doyle. I'm one of the featured teachers in the film The Secret. I currently facilitate a program called Evolve Your Excellence, which is a brain rewiring program. Hey, speaking of brain rewiring, when you are taking on significant transformation, in other words, you're having an intention to leap from here to here, it gets often very uncomfortable very fast. And that's normal, but that discomfort sometimes dissuades people from even taking the first step or quitting too soon because it's so uncomfortable. But let's just think about this. So our brain gets wired as we go through life. That first 7 years, we were wired with whatever belief systems and so on that our parents had and those people around us. And that became our fabric of truth. And then as we proceeded through life, every new piece of information went through that old filter of, well, here's what they're saying this is, or here's the information I'm getting. Let's compare it to all the truth I have, which is all the wiring, which isn't really true. It's just the wiring you got, right? And then based on the meaning I make it, I'm going to move forward. So the whole premise of my work is that if you don't like where you are, it's because the movements, the actions you're taking moving forward aren't getting you where you want to go. And that's based on, the meaning you're making of every moment, which guides the decision on which action to take. Are you with me? Okay, so if you're most of the time we just coast through life. We change our wiring evolves, but it's mostly on autopilot as we're just going through life and reacting to the circumstances that it gives us. And based on who we are, who we've defined ourselves to be based on our truth, we're going to take this action. We're going to have that kind of life. And it's just kind of going to coast along. Now, and you may have periods of discomfort, etc. But if you are going to say, no, I want to accelerate this, I want the graph to go zip, then what you're going to do from a biological standpoint is bring up a lot of old wiring, and it's going to come up right into your face. Your old wiring, this wiring I'm talking about, all these belief systems you have, it basically defines who you are, your identity. So what you're doing when you say, I want to significantly change who I am so that I can get significantly different results, is what you're really saying is, I want to change my identity, because you have to be somebody new in order to get results like that on autopilot, basically, consistently. So it's effortless. Your new autopilot behavior will create the results that you actually love, instead of coasting on autopilot behavior that isn't even, it's based on somebody else's truth or a blend. You know what I'm saying? So again, the discomfort comes on really strong when we want to make such a leap, because biologically we're not wired for anything like that, or we've got a significant way to go. And so again, a lot of people say, oh, that's just too much, I can't do it. Or they try for a little bit of time and then they don't really believe they can get there. So too many obstacles, and they just say, oh, that's it. So the discomfort gets too much. But listen, you should embrace and be grateful for the discomfort. The discomfort, the faster you move through it, obviously, the faster you will transform. You need to go through the journey. We're just saying, instead of having the journey take 20 years, right, to get to grow to where we want to go, we say, no, we want to accelerate this. Now, it's not going to take a weekend. Right? We're talking about rewiring our brain, so it takes a lot of consistency and knowing what to put in there and what to do when the old wiring comes up. And again, when your wiring comes up, let's say you've been living this life for a while and it feels mediocre to you. You know you're capable of more. And then you say, no, this is who I am. And all of that stuff comes up. Well, when your old wiring kicks in to say, hey, who do you think you are with that? There's a lot of chemistry that comes with it too, right? You know what I'm talking about. You're flooded with hormones, and you have all these feelings, and they're not really great feelings, and they reaffirm the fact that that's probably an impossible dream. But here's the thing, and this is the basis of all this work that I do in neuroplasticity coaching, is if you're a human being, of course you can change your brain, because that's what the brain does. But you have to give it the right information on an ongoing basis. You can't just check in a couple of times a day and say, oh yeah, this is who I want to be. No, you gotta know how to step into being that right now without any evidence that that's who you are. Ooh, how do I do that? Well, that is the kind of thing that we teach and help people go through, because we know it's quite a leap. And we're asking our body and our mind and everything to do something pretty extraordinary. And not just give it a try, but to commit to it until we have new biological wiring, so that, again, we have a new autopilot and get new autopilot results. So if you want to learn about all that stuff a little bit deeper, we give free trainings at least once a week. Here's where you find it, meetbobdoyle.com/rewire now. And we have the next one tomorrow, Saturday. Can't think of the date right offhand. I think it's the 20th. Saturday the 20th at noon Pacific. And we would love to have you in there. And we talk about, how do we get wired in the first place? Which is, it's not rocket science, guys, but being aware of, oh yeah, I really, really was programmed, and those really, really weren't my truths, they were somebody else. It really gives you freedom. It should empower you to realize, wow, I'm a pretty programmable thing here. How would I like to program myself? And then we talk about, well, here's how you do that. Here's how you decide how you want to program yourself. And here's what you need to look out for as your old wiring starts to kick back in and go, no, that's not who you are. Right? Because that's the tricky part, is overwriting. This is what the whole thing is about, is overwriting the old wiring or creating new wiring and letting that old wiring just sort of wither and die on the vine. All right. So we'd love to see you at any of these trainings. Hopefully you can join us tomorrow. I'm looking at your schedule. I don't see anything at noon Pacific tomorrow. So hopefully you can join us. Just follow this link. Sign up for. We'll talk to you. Can't wait to see you.